Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet one of the most prominent restaurant families in Dallas. Their journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show. Well, I remember coming to Dallas in 1992, getting the job at Fox 4, and the news director said, Jeff, I'm going to sum up Dallas in 2 words: eating and shopping. Any questions? And you know what? Nothing has changed since then. It's still all about eating and shopping. But something that I've noticed is concepts will come and go, and Dallas is a very fickle market when it comes to great restaurants. To talk about that today, the Rodarte family, and I'm honored to have you all in studio because not only are you a beautiful family, but I love the family company. Mine is a family company as well. Okay, we're going to start with Dad, Beto. You have been in the restaurant business since you were a kid?
Yes. I've been in the restaurant business for, my gosh, all my life, since I was in high school. Kind of put myself through college, doing waiting tables, cooking, and then kind of discovered that was my gift. And so I went to the culinary school, and I got a job with Hilton International in California. Then Phil one time gave me a call, said they wanted to open up a restaurant in San Antonio. And I said, why? There's plenty of those. And he, at the time, Phil was really the golden child in restaurants. He had Macaroni Grill, and it was it was on fire, that concept. So he says, no, I think you want to bring something different to Texas. So I want to bring you in so you can, kind of create your own concept here.
And of course, we're talking about the legendary Phil Romano.
Yes.
Eatsy's Macaroni Grill, Fuddruckers. He's just a restaurant legend. Let's bring Julian into the story. How old were you when you knew that you had been bitten by the food bug?
Yeah, I think 14 years old really is when I, in my head said, Dad, I want to be a chef. And thinking that, you just ask a chef, you want to be a chef, and they make you a chef, and boom, you're a chef, not really knowing how it all works, seeing him do it, his whole life. But, going to him and, he kind of said, hey, listen, I work hard in this business so that you don't have to, go study, be a doctor, a lawyer, do something else with your life. And I was like, no, Dad, I want to be in this restaurant business. You make it look so fun and cool. And he goes, oh, no. He's like, well, you think it's fun and cool, here's an apron, dish pits that way, tell me how fun and cool that is. And afterwards he kind of like, hey, how you have a good time, you want to come back tomorrow? And I was like, oh, please, can I please come back tomorrow? And he's like, oh, what have I done?
Wow. No, and you must have been so proud to have your son take an interest in
for sure. I thought he was going to say, forget it, I don't want to do this. But like I say, you always wish something best for your kids. It's great that he wanted to cook, but you gotta love it. Restaurant business is tough, and I thank God, like I said, I was blessed with a little gift, and I've been doing well so far.
Okay, we're gonna bring Alexa into the conversation. You've been in food service most of your life as well.
Yeah, I started at 24 working at a restaurant in San Antonio. Then I went to work for a fine wines and spirits distribution company in San Antonio, then moved to Dallas. And that's where I met Julian at the restaurant, Beto and Son. And then I came back to the site. So.
Okay, so staying with you, Alexa. Now, when you fall in love with Julian, and obviously there's a romance there, but you're getting married into the restaurant business, and not all husbands and wives can work together. Talk about the family dynamics and what makes this work.
People have told me that, but Julian is very easy to get along with and very easy to work with. And I also feel like when we got together, I had my career, and I knew that it was my time to leave the corporate world. And essentially, Julian's dreams evolved into my dreams. Like, his dreams became my dreams. And so I love working on something together and with him to accomplish like a goal. And it gives me so much satisfaction to do that. So I'm happy.
Okay, back to you, Beto. You trust Phil Romano. He's a brilliant restaurateur, but he shows you Trinity Groves before Trinity Groves was Trinity Groves.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what was your first reaction?
Well, it's interesting because I haven't heard from him for a while. And one time I get a call and it says, hey, I'm working on a little project called Trinity Groves. I go, you want to come and see it? I said, I think you will like it. And I have never been to that part of the town, so he gave me the address. I drive to it. I get lost on an area that I'm not very familiar with. So it was kind of a little scary. I was like, you know what, Phil? I think I'm going to wait on this one.
And the bridge had already been built, the Margaret
Yes.
Hunt Hill Bridge. But at that point, Julian, I think they called it the Bridge to Nowhere.
Bridge to Nowhere, that was what they called it, Phil Romano clearly had a different, idea in mind, but yeah, that's what kind of it was known by at the time.
Okay, and so talk about the progression, Julian, of how it's grown over the years. So the Rodarte family joins Trinity Groves in what year?
2016 is when we opened Beto and Son, and we were kind of one of the first restaurants to take over a space that had closed. So when we got there, it was full of first-generation restaurants. We were the first second-generation spot in that space in 2016. And now we have not just Beto and Son, but multiple concepts at Trinity Groves. But it started with Beto and Son, and that's kind of really what got us to where we are today.
Okay, we're going to scroll down the website, and I'm impressed because there's a little something for everybody here. You guys are methodical when you think about the new restaurant concepts coming in, aren't you? I mean, they all kind of play off of each other.
Absolutely. No, I think, one of the great things about Trinity Groves is you can show up there not knowing what you want to eat and find something. There's a little something for everyone. And, so when we think about restaurants at Trinity Groves, it's a destination. And so these concepts also have to be destination worthy. A lot of people are coming in from the suburbs or are staying at a hotel because they're out of towners and they're being told, hey, Trinity Groves is a great destination for you guys to go to. So when we're developing concepts, we're thinking of things that are a little bit out of the box and, give people a reason to drive to us at Trinity Groves and experience what we have to offer.
And I love it that you're open to new ideas. And I learned just before the show that Alexa had come up with an idea that you weren't crazy about at first. Alexa, you want to share?
Yeah, so when Julian and I were actually in San Antonio dreaming up the next concept when we returned back from Austin to Dallas. And we came up with a concept kind of on the fly, having drinks at a restaurant, like a restaurant expo. At the bar, and we were just bouncing ideas back and forth off of each other. And then finally I was like, oh my God, we need to have this champagne vending machine at this new concept. And we kind of just thought it was going to be just a little feature in the restaurant, and it definitely became, I think, the focal point.
And Julian, you admitted that you were a little bit of a naysayer.
Yeah, no, I just never heard of a vending machine in a restaurant. And so that was just kind of, it seemed weird to me that somebody would, use a vending machine within a restaurant. Obviously, like I said, I'd never seen it before, but I trust her and I have a lot of crazy ideas that she goes along with. And that's kind of one of the things I will say about this family is we are kind of crazy thinkers and we dream up some crazy ideas and we just kind of say, hey, if you believe in it, like we will support you. And I was completely wrong about that one. It has become the focal point and a huge driver of sales within the restaurants. So.
And Dad, you must be so proud to see how this has all grown.
Oh, definitely. I'm very proud of what he's doing. I mean, like I said, we started with Beto and Son, and we never thought it would grow up to be this.
Yeah. Well, they always say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So let's put a slideshow up, and I'll let you all kind of chime in on what we're watching here. So these come from your Facebook page. Julian, you want to start?
Yeah, so at Kate Weiser, she has these amazing things called Carls. And so for Christmas time, the little snowman, you can kind of create your own hot chocolate. You put these little Carl snowmen into a hot pot of milk, and it turns into this beautiful hot cocoa. So Now you actually have Beto and Son. That's one of our vegan items. So about probably 2 or 3 years into Beto and Son's opening, we realized there was a big vegan community that didn't have a lot of options. And so we kind of went all out and said, we want to not just have a vegan option as like one dish. We want to have a full-blown vegan menu. So Beto and I kind of developed all these different vegan menu items. Back to Kate Weiser chocolate. These are some of her beautiful bonbons that she has. I'm telling you, if you've never had her chocolate, you have to. Just be careful because it will ruin you. Like, you won't be able to eat regular chocolate candy again.
Yes.
This is Some Dang Good's crab rangoons. Actually, one of the favorites of the restaurant. I know people love them. I think they've been around since.
They actually, it's a concept that was birthed in COVID, actually, in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh, this is the Margarita Tower at Beto and Son, made with Avion tequila. It has a whole bottle of tequila in it.
In one of these tequila towers.
We do so do a champagne. Okay.
This
Here we
is
have
the famous noodle bowl.
Yes,
our little bowl, Margarita noodle bowl, and this has become one of our signature items. The noodle bowl, obviously, we went and competed with Beat Bobby Flay, and it was it's basically your basic fideo with vegetables, calabacitas, and slow roasted carnitas that we do 24 hours, topped with an egg. Like I said, it's one of our signature dishes. It's become very popular. So.
The liquid nitrogen margarita. That is one of the things that catapulted Beto and Son to success. Was the amazing food, and then this was like the champagne vending machine, definitely a driver that got people's attention.
Well, next time you guys come in, you got to bring margaritas.
Yes, we
What are we
absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%. We definitely missed the opportunity there. We should have done that.
Well, we mentioned COVID, and I want to first start with you, Julian. What was COVID like for you guys?
Oh man, it was an emotional time, but I will say, as a family, we kind of Beto, my dad, had a restaurant in 2008 when that whole kind of economy downturn happened, and so I will say it definitely prepared us as a family to know how we need to come together and we need to figure out solutions and not necessarily let some of the fear keep us from being successful. And so it was a very emotional time, but I will say, looking back, very, very thankful that it brought us very, very close as a family, and it also we were blessed because it actually ended up doubling our space. The restaurant next door, unfortunately, didn't make it through COVID, and people were just banging down our doors to come in, and wait times were always long, but they just kept getting longer and longer. And so we talked with Phil Romano, and he said, "Hey, you guys clearly need the space. Why don't you take over it and see how it goes?" And ever since COVID, we've had our best years we've ever had with that additional space, and just the resurgence and boom in dining, since COVID.
Well, one of the things I love about your family is you love your work family as well, and we found a wonderful piece from CBS 11. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
And just as the governor said should happen, our Andrea Lucia reports people in Dallas going out and enjoying a Friday night.
When the first customer in weeks took a seat on his patio, Julian Rodarte,
I wanted to cry.
got emotional.
My eyes were getting really, really watery, and it was that over and over and over again. It's a feeling that I took for granted before. It's like butterflies of oh my gosh, people are coming.
During the lunch hours alone, his restaurant, Beto and Son, in Dallas's Trinity Groves area, did as much business as it has in an entire day offering takeout.
We were just itching to get out.
The Talbots came for dinner.
It just feels good to sort of move back towards normal.
I feel like they are taking every precaution needed.
This patio can usually hold 100 tables. Over the course of dinner tonight, there were only 20, but nearly all stayed busy.
It feels really good to know that on our first night open, people are flocking back.
It's a drastic change from the devastation Julian recalls from March when he had to close his doors and lay off his staff.
Having to have 80 conversations with 80 employees, it was the hardest day of my life, by far hardest day of my life.
He does worry about the virus, but says it's not the only threat his employees face.
I had a bigger fear of employees that had come to me saying, we're struggling, we're going to lose our house. I think this is giving them a better option.
Safety, he says, has become more important than ever.
We have probably more hand sanitizer than we have liquor behind the bar.
And he's grateful for the customers.
My DNA and my heart and soul is to serve people.
Who keep him going. We wanted to hear more from customers out tonight, but many we approached were reluctant. Some didn't even want to be shown eating at a restaurant. Julian says he knows there are many people who do not feel safe coming out. And as busy as it felt tonight, business was a small fraction of what it was before the pandemic. In Dallas, Andrea Lucia, CBS 11 News.
Wow, what a great piece, and I just love the way you care so much as a family about your customers. Hopefully nothing like that ever happens to us again, but there are murmurings of a recession, and nobody knows what next year will look like. So, Beto, let's get you back in the conversation. What do you see for next year?
Well, like I said, I think COVID really teaches us a lot, and I believe that I think the concept is resilient. I think Trinity Grows has built up some really strong concepts that I'm sure we're going to survive.
Yeah. Well, Phil Romano is such a restaurant legend. Taking over for a legend isn't easy. We're going to show a picture from Paper City of Julian being named the new CEO. You look very dapper there. What kind of pressure do you feel taking over?
Yeah, I mean, first off, like you said, it's big shoes to fill, right? However, I feel like my entire life I've had big shoes to fill with my father as well, So the good thing is it's nothing new from that aspect. However, this is much bigger. Beto and Son is one restaurant, right? Now there are many restaurants that we oversee, and it's exciting. The good thing is Phil's still very much around, and still getting a lot of advice from him, as I am from obviously my father, who has given me so much advice over the years as well. So it's an exciting time, but there's obviously a lot of work that has to be done. And it's something that we as a family are very excited about and looking forward to the future, and what it has to hold for not just, ourselves, but also Trinity Groves.
Okay, Alexa, we'll give you the final word. What do you see for the future? And is your brain always kind of working with new ideas?
It is. We definitely have a busy 2023 with new restaurant openings. I would say total, Julian, would you say maybe 4 new concepts?
At least.
So it's going to be very busy. I'm pretty sure it's going to fly by. But I think, with COVID, I think we've learned to sort of survive. And I think we also learned from the restaurant at Beto and Son to pivot and change our business model within a week because we had no choice. Yep. So I feel like we can get through anything.
Mm-hmm. Outstanding. Well, you're such an inspirational family, and I know God is just blessing your business and all the people who work with you. We're going to end with the website, which is trinitygrows.com. The Rodarte family, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, and hey, if you got any New Year's Eve plans, feel free to come by Trinity Groves. We got a bunch of parties going on at Lexi's, St. Rocco's, the Art Park. Would love to have you at any of those New Year's Eve events.
I would love that. Okay, next time you come back, I want the margarita.
Absolutely. We'll make that happen. Yeah.
All right, that's it for now. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.